Welcome back to Milking Soul Ministries. We are in our final third of the book of John, and I feel like we've done a really good job trying to get to know Jesus a little more, getting to know his heart a little bit more, and then to apply his truth and his goodness in our lives, his priorities in our lives. I know that the journaling's been very dear, precious time for me. It's also been pushing me a little bit because I don't necessarily try all of these techniques regularly. But I'm enjoying myself, and so I hope you guys are too. And I also hope that whatever new direction we head in after this is something we're all looking forward to. So if you have any ideas about the next book you'd like to go to, maybe you want to try a topical study, any of it, please put it in the comments below so we can sort of move ourselves in whatever direction together. I want your input. I want to make sure that I'm doing something that is exciting for all of us, not just for me. And John was wonderful, and we're gonna get to move on in a few weeks. And so let's do that together, and let's do that cooperatively. Okay, so I'm going to sort of be synthesizing verses from John chapter 13 today. John chapter 12 was wonderful. The one thing that really just stuck out to me was verse 43. It says, "For they loved human praise more than they loved praise from God." That is important. That is going to round out our lesson. So we're going to go back to John chapter 12. But for now, hang out in John chapter 13 with me, okay? I'm going to start in John chapter 13, verse 15. It says, "I have set you an example that you should do as I have done." And then skip down to verse 34 and 35. Jesus says, "A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know you are my disciples if you love one another." If I could take those two verses and just mush them together into an apple pie, it would be the best apple pie known to man. I literally, that's all I highlighted on this page because I just can't take how much wonderfulness is there. I know that love can be a very challenging thing for a lot of us, and then to love in the way that Christ did. I have spent a lot of time trying to figure out what exactly that means, and I've sort of just boiled it down to a basic for me. I realized that Jesus loved in a way that was unconditional. He could find worth and loveliness in just about anyone, but he also loved in a way that was honest. I realize that we like that sugary, sweet love. It's easy to enjoy that. It's wonderful to enjoy that. But it's not fulfilling, just like dessert can be. I love it. It's great. Probably not going to provide very much nutritional value for me, right? I realize that Jesus loved in a way that is similar to what we would call tough love today. He loved in a way that was honest. He talked to the woman at the well. He said, "I care for you. I would like you to drink of my water. It's going to offer you something that no earthly water can offer you." And she did. And he said, "I care for you, but I want you to turn from your ways. I want you to turn from the life that you've created for yourself, because it is a life that is destructive and sinful." And he didn't sugarcoat that for her. Same with the woman who was going to be stoned just a few books or just a chapter or two ago. He says to her, nobody stone her unless nobody can stone her unless she's perfect. He protects her. That is a display of love, especially in the countercultural sort of movement he's creating there. But then after she's sort of freed from the danger, he says directly to her, "You need to turn from your ways. You need to figure yourself out." And I think that is the kind of love we need to offer, not only to one another as sisters in Christ and as a community, but also just to the people outside of our circle. I have a friend that is one of my dearest friends, and I know she will always call me on my mess. Always. I know that when I'm throwing a pity party and I want her to join, that she is going to say, "No, Amber, you're bigger than this. You're better than this. You're beloved. You're precious. You're beautiful. You are not allowed to throw this for yourself." I love a good pity party. I really, really do. But it's not empowering. It is not beautiful. It doesn't help solve any issues. And so she is a woman that just encourages me to get on with it and to go and take God with me and to handle the mess. And I need that. I need that because I would sometimes prefer to sit around and be bratty. She doesn't allow for it. She actually challenges me to be a better person, a bigger person, instead of the same person. Those are the friendships we need. That's the kind of love that we need. That's the kind of example that was set for us, and it's the example we deserve to set for others, because by this, everyone will know you are my disciples. He doesn't say go out and sugarcoat the world. We were never described as the sugar of the earth. We were described as the salt of the earth. We all know that salt can add just the perfect flavor, but it can also be that disarming element that you might not be expecting. I think that sometimes we need to be a little bit of a surprise. Jesus was that. We've seen so many people in the Bible, Peter, Paul, Jeremiah. We've seen so many main characters in the Bible be surprises. And so let us provide that. Let us be a little bit salty. Let us love deeply and honestly and caringly, but let us love honestly. Let us love with honesty, through honesty, instead of just for sugary goodness. Let's be friends of nutritional value. How about that? The verse of the week this week is verse in chapter 12, verse 43. I'm going to go ahead and read part of verse 42 with it. But because of the Pharisees, they would not openly acknowledge their faith for fear that they would be put out of the synagogue. For they loved human praise more than praise from God. I just pray this week that we are women who love God's praise more than human praise. That we can love honestly, knowing that it is what is glorifying and best for Him and for His glory and for the ones around us, instead of longing to be accepted by the masses, instead of longing to say what feels good or feels right. Instead, I pray we say what's honest, we say what's true, we say what's pure, we say what's just, and sometimes those are hard things to say. With that, I will see y'all next week, and I'm looking forward to your suggestions below.